All right, you guys, we're live from Mule Tip Tuesday. Hope you're doing dang good today. Looks like, yeah, we got a good connection. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. And a lot of you maybe will watch this later on. That seems to be typical of Tuesdays. So I'm live right now. But maybe you're watching this later. So anyways, whenever you are watching this, whenever you hop on, I would love it if you would leave a comment, say hello, tell me where you're watching from, and just give us a shout out. And if you think this tip is good, then please feel free to share it. So yeah, whenever you jump on, say hello. So today, my tip to you is going to be on building a good backup, and we focus on building a good backup in all of our clinics. So if you've ever been to our clinics, we talk about this. This is important. I don't know why somebody wouldn't want to have a good backup with their mule. I don't know why that wouldn't be at the top of your list, because every good muleman, every good horseman I've been around, they got a good backup. If you want to improve pretty much a long list of things, and I'm going to go through it in just a second, you need to have a dang good backup. So it's definitely part of the deal, and we'll be talking about that this week. I'm here in Bonners Ferry, Idaho right now, hanging out the grandstands, and we will be doing clinic here and talking about the backup. So what is the backup going to help you with? The backup is going to help you have a better stop. Because if you have a good backup, that means the mule is using its hindquarters, and that's going to help your stop. If you want better turns, get your backup going better, because again, it's going to build the hindquarters. If you want your mule to go downhill better, I get so many questions about people having trouble going downhill with mules. And the first thing, everybody wants to blame it on a saddle fit. Now, I'm not going to argue that saddle fit isn't part of it, because in a lot of situations it is. But in way more situations, people's problems going downhill have to do with not having a good backup. So there's so many things. Transitions, lead changes. I mean, I could go on and on. For me, like riding in rough country, being able to jump up rocks, jump down rocks, over deadfall, the better my backup is, the better all these other things are. So I want to give you 5 stages of building a good backup. Okay, the first thing I work on when I'm working on getting a good backup, the very first thing is building good control of the hindquarters and good control of the front quarters. So this means I want to be able to roll the hinds left and right really good. I want to be able to roll the fronts left and right really good, and I want to be able to do that independently. So I don't want Coke bottle turns. I want quality, meaning I can leave the front end there, move the hind around. I can leave the hind end there and move the front around. So I'm not talking Coke bottle turns, like I said. I'm talking quality turns. That's what I'm trying to build. And a lot of people will ask me, well, what does moving the hinds and fronts have anything to do with building a good backup? What the heck? What does that have to do with building a good backup? Don't we just work on backing? Well, in the beginning, to start a good backup, you actually don't work on it a whole lot. I'm gonna work on those hinds and those fronts. I want that mule to be really good at shifting weight, getting weight off of the left front, getting weight off of the right front, getting weight off of the hind feet, both of them. And the better they can do this, the better they're gonna be able to shift weight and get back. So that's my first priority. Second stage of building a good backup is building a really good soft feel. And if you don't know what this is, basically it's vertical flexion at the pole. So I'm trying to get that mule real good at that. When I engage the reins, I want the mule to give. And what it might look like to somebody that's kind of a novice or kind of new to this is, it looks like the mule kind of tucking its chin. There's more to it than that, but to keep it simple here, that's what it is. So when I engage those reins, I want that mule to give. And a lot of people say, well, what does a soft feel have to do with the backup? And I like to reverse engineer it for my students to make it make sense. So let's say you go to pick up a soft feel and the mule is not good at the backup, or excuse me, you go to pick up soft fill and they're not good at that soft fill. They brace on that, okay? Well, why are they bracing, and where are they bracing? And usually I'll ask that, and folks will say, well, maybe they're bracing in the poll, maybe they're hard mouth, maybe they're stiff in the neck, or whatever. There's lots of excuses and lots of things. But the truth is, the mule can't brace anywhere in their body when I pick up that soft feel without bracing on the front feet. Take away those feet, and they can't brace in the withers. Take away those feet, they can't brace in the mouth. They can't do those things without the feet. So, when I want to get a good backup, I need that mule to use the hind end. Well, if they're heavy on that forehand because of the brace that's in there, if they're shoving all that weight down on the front and there's a lot of brace there, they're going to be heavy on that front end, and they're going to really drag going back. Your backup is going to feel super sluggish, and then a lot of people have trouble on that deal too with their mules going crooked. So they're backing up, they're trying to back straight, and the mule's fading off one way or the other. They're going crooked on you. Well, that's because they're pushing off of the front instead of pulling with the hinds. One of my mentors, Martin Black, he explained it my favorite way. He says, well, put a chain on the ground. Is it easier to push that chain somewhere, or is it easier to pull that chain somewhere? So that's what your backing up is like. I want to be pulling, not pushing. If you can't get that soft feel, you're pushing. So that's the second stage. After that, it's time to ask for the backup. And the first part of the backing up, I'm going to reward a weight shift. So I'm not even going to say good job for a step yet. I'm going to pick up that soft feel. I'm going to get my legs off them. I'm going to lean forward a little bit, get off my tailbone. And the second they just even shift some weight, just slightly shift weight back, I'm going to release for that. This takes a lot of feel, takes a lot of timing, but it's worth your time and it's worth your effort to do this. Because if I get that mule really good at shifting weight, really good at tipping, really good at tipping, really good at tipping, pretty soon that first step comes like butter. When that first step comes, I'm going to reward for that. And I'm going to spend first couple of days, first week maybe even, rewarding one step at a time. One step, good job. One step, good job. That's the next stage. The final stage is rewarding for effort. Now this is the stage that a lot of people forget about. They get really good at rewarding for one step release, and they never move on. Don't get stuck in that rut. I'm going to reward for effort after that first week of riding. So this means when I get them back, I'm no longer going to reward for one step or 2 or 3 or 10. I don't care about the numbers at all. I care about the effort. I care about one step of effort. So when I'm talking about building step upon step, I'm not talking just numerical steps. I'm talking about quality steps. So what does effort feel like? Well, you might describe it as the mule speeding up. You might describe it as the mule having a burst of energy in the backing. But you can feel the effort, you can feel the try, and I'm going to reward for that. I want to build that work ethic. I want to build that effort. So that's what I'm going to be doing. That's my final stage. And from there, I just keep stacking the effort. Before you know it, I could back around this whole darn arena if I wanted to, do whatever I want. So that's my tip for you. Looks like a few of you are on here. Feel free when you're on here to comment where you're watching from. Say hello. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this Mule Tip Tuesday. So let me know what you think of it, and if you agree, you disagree, you like it, don't like it, if you're gonna use it and try it, let me know. But thanks for being on here, you guys. Appreciate you so much. Don't forget, it's the best day ever, and God bless y'all. We'll see you down the road.